The Ryan Reynolds versus Tatiana Maslany drama is spiraling into something so ridiculous you'd think it was one of Disney's MCU storylines. And just when you think it couldn't get messier, here come the Disney execs, flailing their arms like they're drowning in the She-Hulk CGI. And honestly, it's embarrassing. So here's the scoop. Disney, in all their infinite wisdom, decided the best way to fix the situation is to force Reynolds to reconcile with Maslany. Why would Reynolds even do that? She's the one throwing shots at him, and it's honestly pretty annoying. She's just another entitled person who thinks she deserves the world. It's clear as day that Reynolds is a lot more famous than her. She should be the one apologizing to Reynolds for all the drama she started. Imagine this. Somewhere in the secret chambers of Disney HQ, Bob Iger is sitting at a big table, probably sweating like a guy at a buffet, thinking, if we can just get Ryan to shake hands with Tatiana, we'll fix everything. Because apparently to Bob, all the MCU's problems, lackluster stories, plummeting fan interests, sky-high budgets can be solved with a handshake. Classic.
Stop it. Get some help.
It's like watching someone slap a Band-Aid on a broken dam. Just picture it. Boardroom meetings full of execs saying things like, yeah, Bob, if we get Deadpool to team up with She-Hulk, it'll be perfect. That's totally what the fans are dying for. No, we aren't. I actually think it would be a complete disaster. She should just stay away. But it gets even better. Disney decides the perfect solution is to shove She-Hulk into a smaller role in an upcoming Deadpool project. Let that sink in for a second. A smaller role for She-Hulk in Deadpool. Like trying to shove a boulder into a thimble. You know, because Deadpool, a franchise beloved for its raunchy humor, violence, and self-awareness, totally needs a sprinkle of fourth-wall-breaking She-Hulk to spice things up. It's like mixing oil and water, except somehow even less appealing. Tatiana Maslany, naturally, isn't exactly shy about this. She's pushing harder than ever to get her giant green CGI self back on screen. In her head, she's God's gift to the MCU. And I mean, you gotta respect the confidence, right? But reality check, She-Hulk was a hot mess. Fans hated it. Hated it like pineapple on pizza kind of hate. Nobody's asking for a season 2. Nobody's lighting up message boards about how they need more She-Hulk in their lives. But Maslany, she's out here acting like she's the next Iron Man. She's hoping if she screams loud enough about sexism and representation, Disney will cave, and her CGI alter ego will rise again. It's the kind of delusion that's almost impressive, like trying to sell sand to someone living in a desert. We see what you're doing, Tatiana, but the fans have spoken, and it's not good. Meanwhile, what's Ryan doing amidst all this absurdity? Exactly what any sane person would do. He's flat out refusing. Again. Reynolds has been in Hollywood long enough to sniff out desperation from a mile away, and boy, does this situation reek of it. He's not interested in Disney's puppet show, especially if it means dragging Deadpool down into the MCU's latest ideological swamp. Let's be real. Deadpool has somehow survived Disney's MCU mess because it sticks to its guns, staying funny, irreverent, and completely self-aware. And honestly, Ryan's got a point. Just look at what's happened to the MCU in recent years. It's turned into this bloated, preachy soapbox more interested in checking off agenda boxes than telling good stories. Captain Marvel? Bombed. She-Hulk? Tanked like the Titanic. And Thor? Love and Thunder? Let's just say that was so bad. The Dark World looked like Shakespeare, but instead of learning from their mistakes, Disney's doubling down like a gambler who refuses to admit they're out of chips. They think more of the same is going to win the fans back. Spoiler alert, it won't. Fans don't want lectures, they want escapism. They want adventure, fun, and characters who aren't constantly reminding them about how flawed society is. Now here's where it gets juicy. Tatiana's banking hard on her MCU connection to save her career. Can you blame her? I mean, the MCU used to be a golden ticket to stardom, but now, not so much. Meanwhile, Ryan's over here, chilling with one of the only franchises left that's actually working, Deadpool. It's still got its edge, it's still making fans laugh, and it hasn't been dragged through the Disney grind yet. No one wants to see She-Hulk cameo in Deadpool 3. It's like putting ketchup on a fine steak. Completely unnecessary and definitely going to ruin it. It gets better. Kevin Feige, the master of indecision, is out here doing his best impression of a politician, flip-flopping like there's no tomorrow. He's all, we're open to discussions. There's potential for She-Hulk in future MCU projects. Yeah, Kevin, because that's exactly what the fans are screaming for. More of the character that almost single-handedly sunk an entire Disney Plus show. Feige, let it go. The ship is sinking, and no amount of CGI, feminist messaging, or fan pandering is going to save it. The MCU doesn't need more She-Hulk. It needs fresh ideas, better writing, and, oh, I don't know, maybe some actual stakes. And let's be real here. Tatiana Maslany isn't doing herself any favors. The more she complains and plays the victim card, the more desperate she looks. Meanwhile, Ryan's over here being one of the few actors in Hollywood who isn't afraid to call out the nonsense. He's standing his ground, knowing exactly what fans want, something Disney execs apparently haven't figured out yet. And while all of this is going down, Bob Iger's over here, desperately trying to hold it all together like a man juggling flaming chainsaws. Disney's bleeding cash, their stock's in freefall, and they're out here making ridiculous decisions like this She-Hulk debacle. It's almost like they're trying to tank the MCU on purpose just to see how low they can go. So, what's next? Will Disney finally wake up and realize that fans are done with their preachy, agenda-pushing nonsense? Will Tatiana Maslany finally get the memo that nobody's lining up for more She-Hulk? Or will they keep charging forward, full steam ahead, dragging the MCU down with them? One thing's for sure, Ryan Reynolds is done playing their game. And honestly, that's the best news we've heard all week. If you guys liked today's video, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on what's going on because I have a feeling it's only going to get worse. Peace.